G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller and welcome back to another instalment of only asking your horse yes questions. And the query I had from someone when I was talking about that a while ago was, well, how do you get your horse to stop from a canter if you only ask them yes questions? I mean, no horse knows how to stop from a canter off two reins. And so in the previous two videos, I've talked about how the lateral flexion is very important, how the bend to a stop's very important, and for me, even the groundwork before that you start riding them is important for that lateral flexion. How your bend to a stop is important, and then having a nice soft backup is important. And once your horse can back up off just that much pressure, now we start working on the stop. And what I'll do is I'll walk this horse towards a fence, and about 3 seconds from the fence, like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, I will do that, okay? I'll just close my fingers like that. Now, on a green horse that doesn't know anything, they're not going to stop when you close your fingers. But 3 seconds later, there's a fence right in front of them. The fence causes them to stop, and when they get stopped, this little bit of pressure's right there, and they go, oh, I know what to do with that, and they step backwards. So we've now gone from a walk to a halt to a backup transition the first time I've asked, because of the way I've gone about it. So Bundy's not going to not stop, but so I won't actually pick up on the reins, but I would, until I get to the fence. But right here, I'd close my fingers, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, and the fence would stop him. And right here, I would have about this much pressure on the reins, and he would do that, and I would let go. And then I would turn, and I wouldn't be that sort of turn because the horse would be too green, but I'd wander off and wander to another fence. And when I came up to another fence, I would walk along, close my fingers about here, 1 Mississippi, 2, and the fence would stop him, and I had this little amount of pressure, and then he stops and backs up. And I'm going to repeat that as much as I have to until what'll happen is I'm walking along and I'm walking towards this fence, and about 3 seconds out, I close my fingers and he comes to a stop and backs up, okay? And I didn't force him to do it, okay? All those were yes answers when I did that. So then the next step after that was good. If he stops without the fence every single time, like 3 seconds out, because after a while he'll stop 1 second out, then he'll stop 2 seconds out, but when he gets to where he stops 3 seconds out off the fence every time, as soon as I pick up, then what I will start doing is I'll start stopping him off 2 reins out here at a walk. I'll walk along, close my fingers, stop, and have him rock back and let go. And I always want them to take a step backwards after they stop, so that they shift their weight to their hind end. You know, it's just like driving a car. If you drive a car up to a stop sign and you put your foot on the brake, at some point in time that car comes to a stop, but it's rocked slightly forward, and if you take your foot off the brake, it'll roll forward. You want to wait till it rocks back on its shocks. So with horses, in order to make you stop better, I don't want them to stop leaning forward. So when I ask him to stop, I'm going to stop, wait till he rocks back, then I'll let go. And you know, I have people go, how do you get those horses to stop really well like that? And it's this slow process. You know, I'm not in a hurry. I don't start riding and then go, hey, I'm going to go for a trial ride and pull on the head. And I mean, I'm pretty particular about all these things, and I think initially you've got to be really particular about how you go about stuff so that you end up with a good result. So then the next step is I'll do it once they can stop out here every time. Then I'll do it the trot, and about 3 seconds out, like right here, I close my fingers, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. No, I haven't closed my fingers yet, but then the fence stops them, and I've got this little bit of pressure like that, and they'll take a step backwards, and I'll let go. And they start to associate me closing my fingers with coming to a stop and rocking backwards. And then, you know, you keep doing it, and after a while, what'll happen is you're trotting along here, and 3 seconds out from the fence, you close your fingers and they just come to a stop and rock back. And once they can do that every single time without me needing the fence, only then, okay, so I know he's going to stop, so I know I'm going to get a yes answer, only then will I pick up on 2 reins to stop out here. I'll be trotting along, I'll close my fingers, and he just comes to a stop and rocks back. But I'm not going to do that until I know it's going to happen, which means I use that fence as a safety anytime I need it. Now, some people are going to say, well, you shouldn't stop them off 2 reins, you should stop a horse off your seat. That's true, but when you teach a horse to stop off your seat, you don't just ride along on a completely loose rein and sit and have them stop, okay? You've got to have, what you do is you sit and then pick up on the reins, okay? Well, the thing is, if you've never taught the horse how to stop off the reins, you sit and he doesn't stop and you're pulling the reins, and now you're asking a no question. So before I teach him to stop off my seat, because the reins are what I'm going to need if he doesn't stop off my seat, I'm going to teach him how to stop off the reins first before I do that.